Good afternoon, everybody. I've got some food for thought for you. I've been getting a lot of phone calls or talking to people where everybody is, um, you know, interest rates are too high. I'm going to wait until they come down. The cost of the housing's up too much. All of these different questions or conversations are being had. So I took the opportunity to kind of look at some numbers and I wanted to share those numbers with you. I did a scenario based off of a $550,000 purchase last year with an interest rate of about 3% or 3.25%. And I also looked at the same numbers at current market, understanding that last year people were offering 25, 50, $100,000 over asking price. So assuming maybe that house was 500,000, they got it for 550 because they offered over asking price. They still put down 10%, which would give them a $495,000 loan amount. And I compared that to the other side of today's market, not having to pay over market price, having more of a normal market, buying that house at 500,000, putting the same 10% down. So that would start them at a loan amount of about 450. And the funny thing is that I ran this scenario. Now, I wanted to see where the break even point was based off of this scenario, where it was where you would both be sitting at the exact same spot. Now, granted, the higher rate that we're at today is going to be a higher monthly payment, but the equity position is what we're talking about. Where are we going to be sitting if we sell our home in 3 years or 5 years or 7 years? Where will we be at in compared to the two different scenarios? The scenario that I ran, those numbers, what I can tell you is it lined up at 400,000, owing 400,000. It's going to take 102 months for the two different scenarios to equal the same equity position. That's almost 8.5 years, guys. 8.5 years for you to be making payments to catch up, even though the interest rate is at 7% versus 3.25. It's still going to take 8.5 years for that 3.25% to equal the equity position. Now, during that 8.5 years, you think the interest rates might come down to be able to refinance? That sure probably will. Nothing's guaranteed, but it probably will. So the moral to that story is it's never a bad time to buy a house. The numbers are going to work out. You don't want to wait hoping that rates come down because they may not. You will be in a better equity position 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years down the road if you just buy today. So, anyway, I wanted to give you that food for thought. If you have any questions, you guys know how to get me. Email me, call me, text me, whatever you want. But those are real numbers and numbers don't lie. 102 months for you guys to break even at 400,000. So imagine if you sold that in 4.5 years. 4.5 years, the interest rate at 7%, you would owe about 425, 427,000 on that home in about 4.5 years. That same 4.5 years, you still owe 450 some thousand at the 3.25%. So any way you slice those numbers, you come further ahead by buying now. So anyway, again, any questions? Give me a call. Look forward to hearing from you.